Eighth sign. This section describes miracles which were manifested in connection with water. Introduction. It is known that when events that take place among groups of people are related individually and not contradicted by others, it indicates the veracity of the reports. For by virtue of his very nature, man is inclined to call a lie, in particular since the people in question were the companions who were more intolerant of lies than anyone else. If the incidents concern God's noble messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, and if the narrator was a renowned companion, then certainly the narrator gives his report on behalf of all who witnessed the incident. However, all the miracles involving water that we will cite below were transmitted through many channels, entrusted by many companions to thousands of precise scholars of the following generation, who in turn passed them down correctly to the great interpreters of the law of the 2nd century. They received them with complete seriousness and reverence, accepted them, then handed them down to the exacting scholars of succeeding centuries. Hence, the traditions have reached our times, passing through thousands of strong, reliable hands. Moreover, the texts of hadiths written down in the era of bliss, the era of the Prophet, were handed down in accurate form till they reached the brilliant scholars of the science of hadith like Bukhari and Muslim, and they, through punctilious examination and classification, collected together those that were undoubtedly authentic and presented and taught them to us. May God reward them abundantly. Thus, the flowing of water from the fingers of God's messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, and many men drinking from it, has the certainty of consensus. It is impossible that the gathering who narrated it would have agreed upon a lie. The miracle is most definite. Moreover, it was repeated 3 times in the presence of 3 vast assemblies. A great many accurate scholars, primarily Bukhari, Muslim, Imam Malik, Imam Shu'aib, and Imam Qatada, recorded from definitely authenticated narrations from a great many of the well-known companions, primarily the prophets, upon whom be peace servants, Anas, Jabir, and Ibn Mas'ud, how abundant water flowed from his fingers and the army drank from it. We will cite here only 9 examples from numerous narrations about this kind of miracle. First, example. Accurate books of tradition, in particular Bukhari and Muslim, report from an authentic narration from Anas. About 300 of us were together with God's noble messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, in the place named Zawra. He ordered us to perform the ablution for the afternoon prayer, but we could find no water. So he told us to bring a little water, which we did, and he dipped his auspicious hands into it. I saw water flow from his fingers like a fountain. His 300 men performed the ablution with the water and drank from it. Anas relates this incident in the name of 300 men. Is it possible that those 300 people did not in effect assent to it, or in the event of their not assenting to it, not deny it? Second example. As narrated in accurate books, and foremost Bukhari and Muslim, Jabir b. Abdullah al-Ansari said, "We were 1,500 men on the Hudaybiyah expedition, and we were thirsty. The noble messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, performed the ablutions from a leather water bag called a kirba. Then he dipped his hand into it. I saw that water was flowing from his fingers like a spring. The 1,500 men drank from it and filled their water bags." Once, Salim b. Abiljad asked Jabir, "How many of you were there?" He replied, "The water would have been enough, even if there had been 100,000 people, but we were 1,500. Thus, the narrators of this clear miracle in effect number 1,500. For it is in man's nature to reject lies. As for the companions, who sacrificed their tribes and peoples, their fathers and mothers, their lives and all they possessed for the sake of truth and veracity, and could not have remained silent in the face of a lie, especially in the light of the warning given by the tradition. Whoever knowingly tells a lie concerning me should prepare for a seat in hellfire. Since they remained silent concerning this report, they accepted it, in effect joined Jabir, and confirmed him. Third example, again as related in the accurate books of Hadith and foremost Bukhari and Muslim, Jabir reported, "During the Bu'at expedition, the noble messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, commanded, 'Call for the ablutions.' They said there was no water. He said, 'Find a small amount.' We brought a very small amount. He held his hand over the water, while reciting something I could not hear, and then commanded, 'Bring the caravan's big trough.' They brought it to me, and I placed it before God's messenger, upon whom be peace. He put his hands in the trough and spread his fingers. I poured that very small amount of water onto his blessed hands, and I saw that abundant water was flowing from his blessed fingers and filling the trough. Then I summoned those who needed water. When they had all performed the ablutions with the water and drunk from it, I told the noble messenger, upon whom be peace, that there was no one else. He lifted his hands, leaving the trough full to the brim. This clear miracle of Muhammad, upon whom be peace, has the certainty of consensus in meaning. For since Jabir was prominent in the matter, he had the right to recount it and proclaim it in everyone else's name. Ibn Mas'ud relates exactly the same thing in his narration. I saw water flowing from the fingers of God's messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, as from a spring. If a truthful, well-known group of companions composed of Anas, Jabir, and Ibn Mas'ud said, "We have seen it," is it possible that they should not have seen it? Now, combine these three examples and see how powerful and manifest a miracle it was, and how, if the three chains of transmission are combined, it proves the flowing of water from his fingers like true consensus. Indeed, even Moses making water flow from 12 different places in a rock cannot be equated with the water flowing from Muhammad's 10 fingers, for water may gush out of rock. Examples are commonplace, but there is no equivalent of, no parallel for, water flowing in abundance, like from the spring of Kawthar from flesh and bone. Fourth example. Foremost Imam Malik in his esteemed book, Muwatta, relates from the renowned companion Mu'adh bi Jabal. During the Tabuk expedition, we came across a spring flowing as meagerly as a piece of fine string. The noble messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, ordered, "Collect a little of the water." They collected some in the palms of their hands. God's messenger, upon whom be peace, washed his hands and face in it, and we returned it to the spring. Suddenly the outlet of the spring opened up and water gushed forth. It was sufficient for the whole army. Another narrator, even Imam Ibn Ishaq, stated, "The water gushed forth from the spring under the earth, making a roar like thunder. God's noble messenger told Mu'adh, 'If you live long enough, you will see that this miraculous water will transform this place into gardens.' And so it did." Fifth example. Foremost Bukhari relates from Al-Bara and Muslim from Salama bi Aqwa, and other authentic books of hadith from other narrators unanimously relate. During the Hudaybiyah expedition we came across a well. We numbered 400, while the water in the well was barely sufficient for 50. We drew the water and left nothing. Then God's messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, came and sat at the head of the well. He asked for a bucket of water, and we fetched one. He put some of his blessed spittle into the bucket and prayed, then poured the water into the well. Suddenly the well gushed and frothed with water, filling to the top. The whole army drank their fill and watered their animals. They also replenished their water bags. Sixth example. Again, foremost brilliant authorities of the science of hadith like Muslim and Ibn Jarir al-Tabari and the authentic books of hadith relate from a sound narration from the famous Abu Qatada. During the celebrated Battle of Mu'tah, we were going for help when the leaders were martyred. I had a water bag with me. The noble messenger, upon whom be peace, commanded, "Keep your water bag carefully. There will be great need for it." Soon after, we began to suffer from thirst. We were 72 men, according to Tabari, 300. The messenger, upon whom be peace, said, "Job, bring me your water bag." I did so. He took the bag and placed his lips on its mouth. I do not know whether or not he blew into it. Then 72 men came and drank from the bag and filled their bags. When I took it back, it was just as I had given it. See this decisive miracle of Muhammad, upon whom be peace, and say, "O God, grant him blessings and peace to the number of drops of water, and to his family." Seventh example. The authentic books and foremost Bukhari and Muslim narrate from Imran b. Hussein. On one journey we and God's messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, were without water. He said to me and Ali, "There is a woman in such and such a place, together, with her beast, which is laden with 2 full water bags. Go and fetch her." Ali and I went and found the woman and the water in exactly the place described, and brought her to God's messenger, upon whom be peace. He ordered, "Pour a little of the water into a vessel." We did so, and he prayed for the blessing of increase. He then commanded everyone to come to fill his water bag. All the men came, drank, and filled their water bags. Afterwards he gave an order to collect something for the woman, and they filled her skirt. Imran said, "I imagined the 2 water bags were constantly filling. The noble messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, told the woman, 'You can go now. We did not take water from you, rather God gave us water from his treasury.'" Eighth example. Scholars of hadith, primarily Ibn Khuzaymah in his Sahih, narrate from Umar, "We ran out of water during the Tabuk expedition. Some people even slaughtered their camels, wrung out the innards, and drank the liquid. Abu Bakr the Veracious requested the noble messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, to pray. The messenger, upon whom be peace, raised his hands, and before he had lowered them, clouds gathered, and such rain fell that we filled our containers. Then the rain stopped, and it had not fallen beyond the limits of the army." That is to say, no chance was involved in the incident. It was purely a miracle of Muhammad, upon whom be blessings and peace. Ninth example, relating from Amr b. Shu'aib, the grandson of Abdullah b. Amr b. Alas, on whom they relied for explanations of hadiths, the 4 Imams narrated from a sound narration. Before his prophetic mission, the noble messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, once came by camel with his uncle Abu Talib to the place called Dhul Hijaz, near Arafat. Abu Talib said he was thirsty. The messenger, upon whom be blessings and peace, dismounted from the camel and struck the ground with his foot. Water gushed out, and Abu Talib drank from it. One of the researchers, however, stated that this incident should be included in the category of Ir-Hasat, for it occurred before his prophethood. But since ever afterwards the spring of Arafat flowed from the spot, it may be considered a wonder of Muhammad, upon whom be peace. Similar to these 9 examples, 90 different narrations, if not 90 instances, have reported miracles concerning water. The first 7 examples are as sound and definite as consensus in meaning. For sure, the last 2 are not supported by the narrations of numerous narrators or a strong chain of transmitters, but supporting and confirming the incident mentioned in the 8th example, as narrated by Umar, is another miracle reported by the authentic books of hadith, including Bayhaqi and Al-Hakim. It is as follows. Umar requested of God's noble messenger, upon whom be peace, that he should pray for rain, because the army was in need of water. The messenger, upon whom be peace, raised his hands, and at once clouds gathered and rain fell, enough for the army's needs. Then they dispersed. It was quite simply as though they were officials charged with watering the army. They came, poured down sufficient for its needs, then went. This narration corroborates the eighth example and proves it decisively. So too, the famous learned scholar Ibn al-Jawzi, who was extremely fastidious in verifying hadiths, even rejecting as spurious many authentic ones, said that this event took place, but at the famous Battle of Badr. He said that it is referred to by the verse, "And he caused rain to descend on you from heaven to clean you therewith." Quran, chapter 8, verse 11. Since that is the case, no doubt can remain concerning its certainty. Furthermore, rain fell on many occasions when the Prophet, upon whom be peace, prayed for it suddenly, swiftly, before he lowered his hands. It was on its own a miracle about which the reports are unanimous. It is also narrated unanimously that several times he raised his hands while in the pulpit, and that rain fell before he lowered them.